The unfolding scandal surrounding Keir Starmer and the alleged £22 billion financial deception has sent shockwaves through British politics, exposing a web of lies, manipulation, and betrayal at the highest levels of government. What began as a seemingly routine announcement about a budget shortfall has spiraled into one of the most damaging political crises in modern UK history, raising serious questions about accountability, trust, and the very foundations of democratic leadership. When Starmer stood before the nation and declared a £22 billion black hole in the country's finances, the implications were immediate and severe. Taxes were raised, public services were slashed, and families already struggling under the weight of a cost-of-living crisis were told to brace for even harder times. The justification was clear. The government had no choice. Austerity was framed as a painful but necessary sacrifice to prevent economic collapse. But as economists, journalists, and opposition MPs began digging deeper, a disturbing truth emerged. The £22 billion figure was nowhere to be found in official reports. Instead, buried in the fine print of the Office for Budget Responsibilities Analysis, was a far smaller deficit projection, £9.5 billion, less than half the amount Starmer had claimed. Even this figure was tentative, an estimate rather than a confirmed crisis. Yet the Prime Minister and his government had weaponized the inflated £22 billion number to push through sweeping policies that would never have been accepted under normal circumstances. The question was unavoidable. Had this been a catastrophic error, or a deliberate lie? As whistleblowers came forward and leaked documents surfaced, the evidence pointed overwhelmingly toward deception. Internal Treasury memos revealed that advisers had repeatedly warned against using the £22 billion figure without verification. Handwritten notes on draft reports explicitly cautioned that there was no credible source for the number. Yet Downing Street had pushed it relentlessly, embedding it in press briefings, ministerial speeches, and policy justifications. One damning email from a senior aide even stated, **The higher the figure, the stronger the justification for urgency." This was not a mistake. It was a strategy. The consequences of this lie were devastatingly real. Schools lost funding, NHS waiting times grew longer, and vulnerable households saw lifeline benefits evaporate, all based on a financial phantom. The public, initially resigned to hardship for the greater good, soon realized they had been manipulated. Anger spread like wildfire, from town halls to social media, as ordinary citizens demanded answers. How could a government sworn to serve its people instead deceive them so brazenly? Starmer's attempts to deflect blame only deepened the outrage. He blamed Treasury officials, then claimed he had been misled by advisers. When pressed in Parliament, he faltered, his once confident demeanour crumbling under the weight of direct questions. That hesitation, a 5-second pause when asked if he had knowingly lied, spoke volumes. The Prime Minister, a former prosecutor who had built his reputation on integrity, now stood accused of orchestrating a fraud against the very people he was elected to protect. The fallout was swift and merciless. Senior Labour MPs resigned in disgust. Protests erupted across the country, with crowds chanting "Where is the truth?" And jail the liars. The media, once cautious in its criticism, turned ferocious, with headlines branding Starmer's government the most dishonest in decades. Legal experts began debating whether his actions constituted misconduct in public office, a criminal offence carrying potential prison time. The once unthinkable notion of a sitting Prime Minister facing prosecution was now a tangible possibility. As pressure mounted, Starmer's resignation became inevitable. His televised departure speech was a masterclass in damage control, filled with regret but devoid of true accountability. Yet his exit was only the beginning. The Crown Prosecution Service launched a formal review, and petitions demanding criminal charges amassed millions of signatures. The scandal had transcended politics, it was now a matter of justice. Beyond the immediate chaos, the £22 billion lie exposed a deeper rot in the system. It revealed how easily fear could be manufactured to justify power grabs, and how willingly institutions could be complicit in silencing dissent. But it also sparked something unexpected, a public awakening. Citizens who had once accepted government pronouncements at face value now questioned everything. Trust, once broken, would not easily be restored. The legacy of this scandal will linger long after Starmer's departure. It has redefined the relationship between leaders and the people they serve, proving that deception, no matter how carefully constructed, will eventually unravel. And when it does, the consequences will be severe. The British public, betrayed but not broken, has sent a clear message. Lies have a cost, and those who tell them will be held accountable. If there is any silver lining, it is this: The next time a prime minister declares a crisis, the people will not panic. They will investigate. They will demand proof. And they will remember the £22 billion lie that taught them the price of blind trust.